Morning, everybody. Feels very dramatic with the incense wafting over. It's really good to see everybody. Thank you for coming today. That is a zafu. It is not alive. It's sitting perfectly still, and it will remain on the floor just like that. And it has no thoughts occurring to it. It has no desires. If it sat there for 100 years, it would still have not even one thought or even one desire occur to it. In fact, it doesn't matter how long the zafu sits there in stillness. It will still never have a thought occur to it, and not even a single desire. So look around this room for a second at the human beings who are sitting on their cushions and chairs and benches. And just kind of notice, that everyone who is sitting here is not like a zafu. All of us are alive. Even if we sat stationary and were just as still as that zafu, we cannot say that we will never have thoughts or desires. Well, on the contrary, if we were to not have thoughts and desires, completely without them, thoughts and desires, we'd have to pronounce that person dead. Decreasing delusions and desire, and finally extinguish them, is not the purpose of zazen practice. Zazen is not practicing to become a lifeless zafu. We'll have plenty of time to be lifeless after we are dead. And I hate to break it to you, but we are all going to die. Even Shakyamuni Buddha, after his great Satori, died. Shakyamuni died. What hope do we have? So once you understand the true meaning of death, maybe you will start to understand the meaning of zazen and the meaning of life. So what about delusion and desire? The second noble truth points towards desire as the cause of our suffering. Desire and delusion go hand in hand. Hand is a good metaphor. Hand's grip. The second noble truth is about grasping and attachment. To be attached to desire and thoughts or our delusions. And that is what causes us suffering. That zafu is not suffering. Life is suffering, first noble truth. So grasping after thoughts and desires is the problem. Master Dōgen advised, establish your practice in your delusion. Uchiyama Roshi is known to have said, knowing that you are deluded is enlightenment. Knowing that you are deluded is enlightenment. Suzuki Roshi said it this way. To realize pure mind in delusion is practice. Being aware of delusion is practice, and this practice is itself enlightenment. We are alive. We have minds, and our minds are produced by life. Minds are essentially word machines. They secrete thoughts. They create symbolic conceptualizations of life. That is actually not a zafu. If you open that up, there's no zafu in it. The word is not in the thing. Earlier, somebody called me by my non-Zen name, and I said hello and said my Zen name. Andy is not in here, and neither is Ryushin. The name is not in us. We aren't the thing. Uchiyama also said that human beings are capable of thinking of things that don't exist. Delusion. So minds create these symbolic conceptualizations of life, thoughts and images that point towards the experience of life. These thoughts and images are life itself. But the reality of life cannot be bottled up in these symbolic conceptualizations. So it isn't that delusion is something other than life. They're part of life. Life creates them. But life can't be bottled up in those delusions. It's a kind of a funny thing. It's like form is emptiness, emptiness is form, Zen type of deal. So this idea that we need to get rid of delusion is really just saying we need to somehow get rid of life. That's delusion. If we try to stop the mind from secreting thoughts and images and try to suppress desire, that will just create more thoughts and images and more desire. Just don't worry about it. You ever try that one? What happens? Don't be sad. Or you're sad and you have nothing to be sad about. Ever hear that one? I have. It didn't make me less sad. Getting involved with our thoughts and desires is another story. If you think back to that metaphor of the hand, that's closing the hand of thought. We kind of grab onto thoughts and desires. Have you noticed that you'll have a thought you don't like, or a feeling you don't like, or a desire you don't like, and we just hold on to it? I don't like this. Why do we do that? It might be something to notice in your practice. Just my pain. It's important. It is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but why do we hold on to it? That's attachment. That's suffering. Coping with thoughts and desires is also getting involved with them. Managing your thoughts and feelings is getting involved with them. Suppressing them, pushing them away is getting involved with them. Using zazen as a way of coping or pushing away and not being one with your life is getting involved with them. It's using zazen for something it's actually not designed to do. So thinking is different than thoughts and desires occurring. Thinking is chasing after thoughts and desires or trying to chase them away. Non-thinking is acknowledging that delusions, thoughts and desires, are present. Hello, delusion. Oh, there you are, delusion. Just acknowledging. Just acknowledging delusions and desires as Uchiyama said, resting on the foundation of life is non-thinking. They're resting on the foundation of life. Opening the hand of thought. Suzuki Roshi wrote, delusion cannot stay when you say, this is delusion. It will be very, very ashamed. And it will run away. When you read Zen Mind, the Beginner's Mind, it's sometimes hard to notice when Suzuki is joking, but he is really funny. When you read Zen teachers, you might sort of like bring that perspective. There's some humor in there. It's hilarious. Life is hilarious. It can be anyway. Yeah, imagine all the delusions that you get stuck with if there was a laugh track behind them. I'm not good enough. Imagine like a Wham song is playing in the background. So he said that your delusions will run away. They'll be so ashamed. So establish your practice in delusion. To have delusion is practice. So when you say this is delusion, that's already enlightenment itself. Practice is aiming your whole self at the zazen posture in your delusion and acknowledging that you are deluded. This is great doubt. Delusion? Delusion. Not taking any of what your mind throws at you, even the true things, as real. That is not a zafu. You will not find zafu in that. Entrusting, I love that word, entrusting yourself to zazen and just acknowledging delusion takes great faith. I should be doing something else right now. This thought's really important. I need to pay attention to that. We need support and encouragement to do this. It's a really bold and brave act to let go of delusion and just sit. We need each other to do this. We can't do it alone. We need the sutras, and we need teachers, and we need traditions and ritual to reassure us about the truth of practice. Seicho Sensei speaks so beautifully about ritual as being a way to connect with practitioners of the past and teachers of the past, and also a way of carrying on traditions and passing them forward. Always warms my heart when he talks about it in that way. So we need each other, and we need teachers and traditions and all of that to remind us about the truth of practice, and more importantly, to help us to abandon our delusions about enlightenment. We need to let that go. There's no enlightenment in enlightenment. There's nowhere else for you to go. There's no other person you can be, and there's no other life for you to live except for your life. So it's May. And there's a saying about May, right? Well, in April too. April showers bring May flowers, and you probably noticed some flowers. And spring is in full bloom. It's a really beautiful time of year. If you're a fan of the series Shogun, I don't know if anybody has seen it. It was really beautifully done. I still like the original better, but this is pretty good. You might recognize the poem that I'm about to read, which was sort of co-written by two of the show's main characters, Lady Ochiba and Mariko-sama. So Mariko-sama wrote the first line, and Lady Ochiba finished it after. Well, I won't give it away if you haven't seen it. After something. So Mariko-sama wrote, "Flowers are only flowers because they fall. Flowers are only flowers because they fall." And Lady Ochiba finished it, "Thankfully, the wind." We aren't practicing to be that. Human beings are human beings because they fall. Thankfully, I'll let you finish that poem.